Yes.
What I got is that you make two binomial factors used to FOIL back into
Mhm.
this.
Yep.
And the first term is half of this. And in order to find the
It's half of it, or it's that, the middle term.
so it is b.
Basically.
The first
That's
two terms are b.
basically.
And the last terms of each binomial is what you get if you set the first term equal to x squared.
No, your last two terms are basically what multiply to give you -8. And then the middle, and then what they add to give you -7. Remember, that's C.
But that's specific. If it was +1 and -8, it wouldn't work. So how do I find out specifically what these are without doing any math? Let's see.
The AC method.
Oh,
Remember?
so you would want me to do the AC?
Yeah, -8 and -7. What two numbers multiply give you add to give you -7?
Okay.
-8, -7.
Right.
Those are the only two that work.
All right, so I'll do this.
All right. So let's go ahead and guys, we're almost done.
Thank you.
Now, I am going to go over why we're using this in a second. You guys want to know why we did all this stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a test next class.
You have a homework quiz
Next class.
next class.
Yay.
Okay?
You prepared us. We're done.
On this?
On classifying polynomials,
So what we just went over today?
determining end behavior, writing the equation of a polynomial given the zeros, and then finding the zero, and then factoring. What?
Can I get that, like, say on the website?
Since I haven't been doing the homework, I don't have all of these already prepared, so I didn't put them on the website. I'd like to try to get the factoring up. The homework I'm going to give you guys tonight, or what you guys had last class period, I'm going to try to get that up, which I should, just because I know factoring is like very difficult. You guys need a lot of practice with that. So I should have that. That's so cute. No. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Marissa?
She went to a concert with his kid?
What?
That's all I heard.
Now, could somebody tell me if I said this was the problem I gave you guys, and I said solve, what would be the first thing you would want to do? Ooh,
Factor.
ooh. I'll pick on Kelsey because I haven't picked on Kelsey. Yes, Kelsey?
That's a good answer.
So,
phone and get all mad.
the first thing you would do is set everything equal to 0, right? Then you would factor it, which we showed you how to do, right? And then you factor it again. Now, what is the next step? Does the same people, what would I do from here? Because this is why we're doing this. This is why we're factoring. Because we're basically going to want to be solving. Does anybody know what the next step is?
Plug it in.
No, let's please raise your hand. Anybody know what the next step would be? Cricket, cricket, cricket. Guys,
That's not it.
guys.
That's on me. One.
Oh, you gotta do FOIL? Oh, no, man, never mind.
What would be the next step here?
Oh, is it a 0?
It's the zero product property. And the zero product property says when you have two expressions equal to 0, then you set them both equal to 0. Well, now guess what? We don't have two expressions. We have now what?
3.
3. Okay? Because now, can we solve? Now, remember, when you guys are taking the square root, or when you have something squared, to undo the squaring, you take the square root. So to undo something to the 6th power, you have to take the
Square root.
6th root.
Oh, 6 root.
Don't worry about this so much. All I want you guys to understand is really x is going to still equal to 0. Then x equals 8, and x equals -1. So what I want you guys to understand is, as we have powers start to increase, guess what? As our powers start to increase, so do the number of zeros. Do you guys see how we have 3 zeros here? Okay, so our zeros are going to start getting more in depth. So I'm going to go over one last problem, and I'll hopefully, since you guys have been fairly, those are the zeros. So why don't you guys, if I give you guys an example, why don't you guys tell me what the answers would be? Why don't you guys tell me what the answers would be for that one? Good job.
Can I use the restroom?
Nothing like a good old headache in the morning, huh?
Mr. McLogan, I use the restroom.
Come
Huh?
on. This is all you've done today? Gavin, that's not acceptable, man. You're not going to learn if this is all your notes. So you come to me and say, hey, Miss William, can you teach me what we did today? And this is your notes?
Can I use the restroom?
Zero product property.
Seriously?
See, doesn't it make sense? Like,
I've taken 3 times the notes of some today.
Yeah, but what do you plan on getting in this class, grade-wise? Let's put this away. What do you want to get in this class? Okay. What do you currently have? Better enough. You know what this is? This is an F notes. This is what somebody that has an F makes notes of. If you want a C, you got to take notes like a person that has a C. Okay? You should have all of this stuff written down. All of this stuff written down. Okay? You can't afford not to be writing stuff down if you want a C. Okay? Question?
Kaiser.
Would it be possible that you create these three equations out of like 2 of these?
No, you're not multiplying them. You're just finding the zeros. I want you to find the zeros. I don't want you to write the equation.
Can I use the restroom?
I want you to find the zeros. Sure, go. Bye.
Find the zero. One zero.
Hold on.
You said finally, and now you're not ready. Yes, it's that easy. Or are you coming down? Yep. You get your answers? Those are your answers you wrote down?
Dang.
It's that easy.
X ball them and then.
Guys, no, listen to my instructions. I want to find you. Huh?
It's just that zero. Find all the zeros.
Guys, if this is factored and I'm telling you to find all the zeros, all you do is set each of these equal to 0. So x equals 0, x minus 7 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0.
I did that.
Yeah, bro, y'all over.
And I did the other stuff.
Now, x equals 0, good, because I don't have time to put in your grade. So, x equals 7.
Negative 1, 5, negative 2.
That's it.
High five.
I was kidding.
In the air.
Logan, my stomach really just
Mr.
went down.
McLogan. Oh, that makes.
Throw that easy. Because what form is this? What form do we call this?
Easy one.
Factored form. If it's already factored, that's awesome, right? And if it would look like this and I said find the zeros, what would you do? You would replace the y with the 0, right? So now let's get into, you guys ever heard somebody say the meat and potatoes?
No, you're lame.
Not yet.
Sure, you can go.
I can go.
Yeah.
It's called zero product property. Set some, like that whole equation that's equal to 0 and set it apart.
No, we got to do it same time.
Whoa, Lauren.
Oh, this thing? Oh, the one.
Okay,
I know how to do it.
guys, the faster I can go through this problem, excuse me, the faster I can do this problem, the more time you guys will have at the end, okay? Yes, please stop. So, this is the whole purpose of this class, of what we have been doing the whole class, why we practiced all of that factoring, why we talked about the zeros and so forth. Oh, I'm still recording. Oops.